各位Taiwanica的听众大家好，首先要先衷心的感谢大家一路上的支持与爱护。那这次的讯息呢，主要是要跟大家分享一个非常好的消息，那就是 Taiwanica 要回去台湾了。那这次的台湾之旅呢，有几个目的，我们有任务在身。第一个目的呢，是让我们的儿子成为台湾公民。他出生1年多了，是时候让他变成台湾人了。因为台湾有非常多的资源，然后非常丰富，又很方便，所以呢，想为他的未来做准备。所以第一个要让他成为台湾公民。第二个呢，是因为我们已离开台湾蛮久的一段时间，这段期间发生了很多事情，演艺圈啊、政治界啊、文化上的新的，有很多我们是都没有第一手接触到的，所以第二个目的就是要回去台湾，吸收一下新的知识，更新一下我们所知道的常识啊跟知识，然后重新认识台湾这个国家。这应该会蛮有趣的，因为这可以帮助我们创造更多不一样的内容，一些跟得上时代的话题。再来第三个是我们都非常非常兴奋的，这其实是一开始是一个发想，我们想要有一个粉丝见面会。这个活动呢，可以让我们跟所有的粉丝见面。我们知道很多听众是来自于我们的学生，当然也有更多其他的听众是不是跟我们学英文的，他们只是忠实的听众。那不管是哪一个呢，我们都还没有见过面，所以我们非常的想要办一个活动，让我们大家交流、分享，然后认识大家。这是一个非常兴奋的活动。那当然，我们的内容呢，活动内容会有非常多的详细的细节。那当然，到时候日子比较近的时候，会再跟大家公布。那个时候呢，就希望大家可以踊跃的参与，让我们跟大家见面聊聊天。所以以上是我们主要回去台湾的目的，但是很可惜，我们需要你们的帮助。这是我们的梦想。为了实现这一切，我们需要金钱上的赞助。要记住哦，你们每一分钱都可以使我们更接近目标。所以5块、10块都可以，就只是一个互惠的一个机会，就是我们提供给大家这么好的内容，那你们的支持也让我们更进一步去创造非常多的内容跟话题。所以这次是一个非常好的机会，可以让我们有互惠的一个互动。所以呢，任何的捐款呢，我们都非常的欢迎。所以在以下我们会有一个捐款的连结，所以点选连结呢，就可以进行捐款的动作。那我们不要求非常多的钱，但是一些金钱上的赞助都是非常重要的。所以再次的感谢大家一直以来的支持，真的没有你们就没有Taiwanica。非常想要跟大家见面，所以呢，如果你的帮助可以帮助我们实现梦想，你的梦想跟我们的梦想，还有我们儿子的梦想。以上就是这样子咯，非常感谢大家的支持，那我们就台湾见咯。
This is episode 58, talking about childhood memories, the classics between Taiwan and the USA. What's going on, everybody? Long time no hear. This is Eric, one of the hosts here on Taiwanica podcast. Welcome again to another wonderful episode. We are so glad to have you. Can't wait to share with you the great, crazy ideas that Anita has all organized for us today, who is just absolutely wonderful and right next to me right now. Hey, Anita, how is it going?
Let's try that sentence one more time.
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
Hi guys, I'm Anita. How are you guys? doing?
I'm sure
Miss you guys.
they are doing fine. The question is, how are you doing, Anita?
I'm okay. I'm just a little bit sleepy.
A little bit sleepy, huh?
Yeah. But I'm very excited about the episode.
That's great.
Yeah. I have so many questions to ask you now.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a few of them before today, and I'm excited to hear whatever else you're going to be telling us. But let me tell you all who's listening, you're in for a treat, because some of the things that you're going to learn about Anita and Eric, and also what happened 20-something years ago in Taiwan, the USA, we're not going to tell you our age, is very interesting, because it's very different from nowadays. So, so I'm very excited to dive on into those topics.
I thought you were going to say what happened to us, like who grew up like this.
Oh, lots of problems. Some of these childhood memories that you're going to hear will make a lot of sense of why we are the way we are. You're like, yeah. But before we dive on in, let me just say thank you for all of you for waiting.
Thank you so much.
Last 3 weeks
Yeah.
or more since we posted our last one. We have been preparing for our trip to Taiwan.
Yeah.
And we're very excited about it. But it made us a little bit too busy to be able to keep on making episodes for a short period of time. But don't worry, we're back.
We're back.
And we're ready to rumble.
Yeah. And before we dive on in, we also wanted to say thank you for the audience. That's very generous donation for our trip to Taiwan.
That's right. Yes, we've had 3 lovely donations so far from the people who are listening out there. So if you're listening to this episode, we have recognized you and want to thank you again for your generous donation. Yes, and if you are interested in helping us, you can find either our Buy Me a Coffee website /Taiwanica, or you can go to GoFundMe.com. Both of the links are in the description below. Any amount is great.
Yeah.
So, well,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, let's go ahead and dive on into today's episode. Anita, what do you got for us?
All right, so I think we should share, because like Taiwan and the USA right now, definitely very different from what we grew up, right? That environment and everything, or the things that's popular, that's very different from now and then. So the first part I would like to have us to share the memories. Like, what is your memories about USA?
Memories of USA.
Yeah, like when you were a kid, what kind of things that you remember? What kind of, what does the USA look like when you were a kid?
Sure. So I grew up pretty close to where we live right now in a small town called Eugene. And when I was a kid, I lived pretty much in the countryside of that town. And there was very little development over there. A couple of grocery stores, a plaza, and a lot of small houses. But while I was young, all I really remember is walking around these, 40-plus-year-old houses and seeing a bunch of little kids playing around outside, maybe old people walking, a lot of people outside. I remember a lot of people just kind of just spending time outside, enjoying the weather for pretty much any season except for winter. And then winter, there was lots of snow. But in terms of activities, there wasn't anything really specific that comes to mind except for going to parks. A lot of nature stuff, and that was one of the biggest things that really, connected to me being in the countryside. One of the things that I did in my free time was walking around, checking out other areas. One of the things that I enjoyed was just looking at buildings. And when I walked down the area I lived, there was a bunch of streets that you could turn down, and basically there's these cul-de-sacs, and if you don't know what a cul-de-sac is, it's just a round street that has no exit. So if you go in, you have to go out the same way that you came. And you would just see this roundabout of really beautiful houses, and then you can leave and go to the next one. So that's what I would just basically do in all my free time, because my mom was very busy, and she'd be like, Eric, go do something. So, and then she would keep on working on her computer, but she didn't realize I left the house. I was like, okay. No. I was gone for hours, and then she would think I was just sitting on the couch when I got home, because she would be done with work. She's like, oh, Oh, okay, there you are. Yeah.
You're still alive.
Yeah, I'm
One
fine.
piece.
In one
That's
piece,
fine.
no problem. I was doing that since I was like 5.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was very dangerous. If it was this day and age, it would not be a good idea. But just so you know, like that area was countryside, but it's very different from Taiwanese countryside where there was rice everywhere. Instead, we had orchards, so like apple trees, peach trees, any kind of fruit tree that you can imagine that would grow there. That's pretty much the biggest impression.
That's great. So basically, the only difference is it's safer.
Back then.
Back then, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah, you don't see a bunch of kids down those streets. Actually, Anita and I drove through there, I think, 2-3 weeks ago, and we didn't see a single person outside.
Maybe also because it's really hot that day.
Yeah, that's true. But still, there was not a soul on that whole entire street. It was way different.
It was shocking.
Yeah,
me,
not
but-
a single person.
Yeah.
It was just like, ghost town? Oh my god. Seriously? But it hadn't changed at all.
Yeah,
No,
really?
No, not
That's
a bit.
cool.
The only thing that really changed was like a few trees were gone, or I think that's really it. You know, just, like, a few
Really?
trees were gone. That was
Wow.
basically it. All the
Ooh.
buildings were pretty much the same.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember he was pointing out, like Eric was pointing out, he drove in a neighborhood, like he was pointing out that person's name, you know, telling me the story about that person. Like 30, 20 years ago, that person was blah, 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 blah. It's still there, you know.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Like the little houses, you know, they all have their special characteristics and quirks that apparently just never changed. I think that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
For me, it's different. Oh, thank you for asking. For me,
You're welcome. I asked you through my mind.
oh, I see.
Yes. You picked it up. You're very intuitive.
For me, it's totally a different story. And oh, yeah, for me, it's totally a different story because I was actually born in New Taipei City, and my family and I we moved to Taichung when I was 3. So I basically have no memory was to Taipei, but all my whole childhood and was in Taichung. And okay, let's just be honest, it was like 30 years ago. Oh my God. 30, almost 30 years ago.
Wow.
Everything, you know, my hometown, my parents' house, the house I grew up to, it's very close to the new Costco. If you're in Taichung, you must know like the new Costco there. It's really, really close there.
Don't tell them your address, okay? Otherwise, we're gonna have lots of fans just be like, Anita.
I wasn't there.
I guess so.
I'm not there.
Your parents. Oh, you don't want to meet Anita's parents. So,
Stop it.
warning: if you listen to this information and try to take action, you will meet Anita's mother. And Anita's mother is scary.
She doesn't look like me, right? I don't look like him.
No.
Her.
You don't look like either of your parents.
I don't know.
Some people think you're adopted, but then again, one of your sisters looks exactly like you.
That's
They're
not
twins.
true.
They're twins.
That's not true. I'm so angry, frustrated now. Because keep saying that. Just no.
We need to have a photo and then vote on
I
Instagram.
will. Yes, I will do that. Okay. Anyways, so you know, in that area right now, we have like a Jieyun and MRT, you know, Costco, everything.
It's
you
very
know.
developed.
When I was a kid, it's all just rice field. Everything just rice field. I think our building was probably the very first one or two like considered like modern buildings there.
Yeah.
So yeah, when it was like 20, 30 years ago, my parents bought the house and then we moved in there. We just there. And there was, I remember the elementary school and the junior high schools there too.
Yeah.
So basically just the art building and the 2 schools nearby and everything else was just rice field. And when I was a kid, I would just go outside and saying hello to the farmers, you know, that's what you would see.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's how I remember, like, it's changed so much. We have a lot of, like, 7-Eleven, Family Mart, convenience store, but when we were a kid, they are just, like, local convenience store, like grandpa and grandma's house.
Like mom and pop houses.
Mom and pop houses.
Oh, they're the same thing.
Right.
There it is.
Yes. So like yeah, just really really simple and like it's really hard to imagine. Like right now I'm picking out some pieces from my brain. Just oh my god, it's changed a lot. But basically, they're not very popular when I was a kid. Just all simple like neighbors having a local store, have few food stand that you can go, you know, try some Taiwanese food. That's basically it.
It's amazing how your neighborhood can change so much after a long period of time.
I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I've heard this story like many times with other people. Like the only place like mine is like it hasn't changed at all, and I think it's just mainly because of where it's located inside of Oregon. It's just one of those places that there's no real need to develop. You know, it's like the people who live there are the people who stay. Like, that's basically it. One of the things I did notice wasn't near my house, but it was near my school. I was so surprised to find that my school, well, to give you clarity first, my elementary school and high school were literally a block away from each other. That's how small my town is. Okay, they are literally technically on the same block if you really think about it.
I think they are.
They are.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a real big block. But anyways, my high school apparently decided we're going to make our high school bigger. And so
that's all just Eric's though.
This is Eric's imagination.
Yeah.
Disclaimer. Okay. So we're going to knock down the elementary school. And so I was just like, what the? I was so shocked. Like, we were driving down. I was like, I'm going to show Anita my elementary school and one of my most fond memories of life. And I was like, I planted a tree there. And I was just so excited to share because you know how much I love trees. And we got there and I was like, what? It's gone.
I mean, the emotion is understandable because, you know, this kid, no, sorry, not you. I mean,
I'm a kid.
Eric, when he was a kid, he went to this very special school. You know, if you listen to our episode before, you will know he was studying Japanese school. And the school gave him a lot of, like, influence, like, who he is right now. And then he was, you know, imagine, like, Eric was in elementary school and, you know, like, playing a little tree. Yeah. And then the tree was gone. And he was like so shocked and so emotional damaged. I was anything.
I love how we're laughing at my trauma. This is a real good way of healing.
I'm sorry.
On public video. We actually haven't talked about this, and now she's just totally shaming me.
I am not. I just said the emotion is understandable because he wanted to show me. Either way, you actually showed me once before when the elementary school was there. So I
saw the tree?
I did.
Okay,
yes. Good. So which is like the second time, like about 2-3 weeks ago, so let's go see, and then he just silent when he saw the
There's a whole new building there. Like, it's just this huge gray building that's going to become the new high school. And it just completely, like, swallowed the old school in the back of the school and all the trees there. I was just so shocked. I was like, why do you need to do that? The old high school is literally still right there. It's, like, right there. So we're going to have 2 schools.
I don't get it. Like, if the kids don't go to elementary school, how are they going to, you know, high school?
Yeah,
like, how
right. They're like 5-year-old. You can go to high school.
You can go to high school. We don't have elementary school.
We're done with that. Elementary schools are losers.
Anyways,
all right.
Yeah, that's the only change in your town, but for me, it's like huge changes, a lot of changes. Like the park, the coffee shop, McDonald's. We didn't have McDonald's back then. We didn't have a lot of things. So, and the funny thing is, I didn't even remember like since when it started to develop. You know, it just feels like this overnight change. Like,
right.
You know, it's rice field, and then you go to sleep and wake up, and it's like, oh, everything has changed.
You got a 20-story 百货公司. You got like a department store right there.
I think Taiwan is very incredible because we develop really fast.
Faster than anything I've seen.
That's true. And then just like when I was a kid, like the memory is not very clear, but I just remember that it was just rice field, and then all of a sudden, I think they built the traditional market there first. You remember that one just right in front of my parents' house?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they started building that one first.
Oh, I see.
And then everything just kind of started like
expanding from there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've heard similar stories in places like Hsinchu and Miaoli and all these other places where they used to just be rice fields that were owned by a family for generations. And then after that, they were like people were like, we want night markets. We don't want rice fields. And so people were like, okay, well then we'll sell or rent our land to you. And then lo and behold, there's markets everywhere instead of rice fields. It feels like Taiwan got bored of rice and wanted more markets, and that's what happened.
Yeah. And I think there's also a very like important moment of my childhood. That was when it hit 2000. Remember?
Y2K.
Yeah, Y2K. And all of a sudden, it seems like everybody started to do things after 2000 hits. Like cell phone, computer, I think. Yeah, computer, cell phone, like video game started to become like really advanced after 2000 hits.
Yeah, I mean
2000 is definitely one.
I mean, think that's when you turned 8 years old, right? So I mean, that's what they say when you stop being a kid and start become like 7 or 8, and then after that you become like realizing what the world really is like.
Yeah.
You got it right on 2000. Boom.
Yeah.
Hey.
It was pretty cool though.
Yeah. I mean, the same thing happened to me. So I loved it. I was just like, what does 2000 even mean?
Yeah, because before it was just like 1990 something.
And that's a lot of nines.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like 2000, people was like,
that's exactly what they were like.
Yeah.
They were all like freaking out because the internet was going to like explode.
They were, yes.
They were like, how are we going to make every single thing on the internet become zeros?
Yeah, and they were like, yes, they were like talking about, like there would be like virus or, they predict a lot of crazy things that would happen when 2000 hits.
Yep, like the end of the world and stuff like that. It's just really funny how that works. It's funny.
Yeah, there was the memories, right, when we were a kid.
So what other question do you got today?
Okay, so the next part would be, I list out 5 different categories.
Okay.
All the kids will definitely have, doesn't matter which year you were born, when you were a kid, you will definitely have those 5 things. But of course, different generation will have many different options.
Sure. So this is going to be definitely focused on people who grew up during the 2000s. So if you're one of those people, you're going to understand. If you're not one of those people,
it's okay.
It's okay. You can think, wow, you people are old. Or if you are older than us and you're like, oh yeah, my grandchildren did that, or my children did that. We are those people, okay?
Just listen to it as like a history lesson or whatever.
Yes. Here we go. Back in time.
Okay.
Whoop.
What is the drink that you drank when you were a kid? The drink.
I mean, I drank water.
Yeah, you do?
I did.
You did?
I don't anymore.
Like when we were a kid, when we were kids, definitely something that you would drink, like your mother would give you, or memory.
Like the thing that I loved to drink.
When we were a kid. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there were a lot of experiments happening when I was a kid. I don't know what happened with like the control over food or drink. I think they just said, have fun for like 5 or 6 years because some crazy stuff came out when I was a kid. One of those things was blue Pepsi.
Ooh, it sounds very supposed to be put into your belly.
People are not supposed to drink food color. Especially blue. Like I heard like blue is the worst for you. I know. I don't know why. It was like Food Drug Administration was like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, don't worry about it. You're Pepsi. It's totally cool. And so they made blue Pepsi. And I'm going to tell you, okay, I did like it because it made my mouth turn blue. And all my internal organs. I couldn't see that.
Smurf.
Yes, I smurfed it up. But that's not the point. The point was that the flavor of it was amazing, and there was never, ever another soda like it.
AKA just the blue coloring.
Maybe. Maybe. But you know what? It was amazing. I drank it a lot.
Question. What's the regular Pepsi color? Just
brown or black.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't drink soda. I don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
And there are some other crazy things like Coca-Cola had vanilla flavor.
I've heard about that.
And, other things that they had were like Mountain Dew.
What's Mountain Dew? Oh, I think I might have heard of it.
Yeah, it's really popular in the USA.
Oh my god, is it still popular right now?
Yeah, but they have different flavors that they still have for specific places, but it's not as like, crazy with different chemicals and flavors these days as it was back then.
Less chemical.
Yes, less chemical. Exactly. So, what about for you?
Oh my god. For me, it's definitely like when we're a kid, if you are like well behaved, of course, we don't have sugar or anything that including our diets. It's just never a thing. But when you were a kid, if you're like well behaved, or you finish your homework, you help your mom wash the dishes, or you help up a little bit with your brothers and sisters, your mom will give you something to say as like, thank you. Oh, you're such a good kid. It's definitely 养乐多.
Oh.
Do you know 养乐多?
Yakult.
Yakult. Yeah, that's...
The little drinks that you can have like this itty bitty tiny straw to stab into.
Yes, that's the thing.
In Japan, it's super popular too.
And what's the fun thing is that we would drink it. Usually we would drink it just one bottle, but sometimes they came with like 12.
Yeah.
12 as a set. And then they would just put all the straw in all of them and just drink it at once.
So that's really funny that you bring that up because I have a memory of one time in Taiwan where I was waiting for some noodles to get ready with you, and there was this guy who was making all the noodles and the food in the back, and he's the chef, but while he was cooking, in one hand he had a row of Yakult in his other hand, and whenever he finished one he would pull the straw out with his mouth and stab the next one with his mouth at the same time, and then keep drinking while he's doing it. I'm serious. I saw that. I thought you saw, but it was just amazing. I was like, that guy knows. Yeah, he knows his Yakult. I was like, he really is passionate about it too. He's just like, and just doing it over and over again. I was like, that guy has definitely done this before. This is not his first time with Yakult.
Yeah, that was really great. That's definitely the thing. And I remember when I was a kid, one bottle, tiny bottle, was only $5.
Wow.
Yeah, $5 Taiwanese dollar.
That's amazing. It's definitely not that way anymore, right?
No, I think right now it's 12. Yeah, it's about 12, 15.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and another thing I would like to share is it's my personal memory. It just, when we were a kid, for some reason, they just say, oh, the kid's supposed to drink milk because the calcium will make you grow taller. So parents just basically just, tell the kids to do the milk shot every day. Every now and then, not just every day.
No.
So my father there was a little memory between me and my father. Is every time when the time, the clock hits 9 p.m.
Okay.
He actually taught me how to read the clock. 9 p.m. and I can go tell him, and he will take me to the local store to get a milk. But those milk, I don't know how to call it. It's like 调味乳. It's not just the cow milk. They have different flavors in it.
Yeah. Just flavored milk.
Flavored milk, yes. So my favorite is buckwheat. I think it's called Maya.
Yeah, that's
Maya.
Buckwheat.
Yeah, Maya 牛奶.
Oh,
and
buckwheat
they have
milk.
Yeah, buckwheat milk. It's so sweet.
But amazing.
Yeah, it's so good. So every time I'll go there and I'll just grab one. So 调味乳, the flavored milk, is definitely one of the drinks that a lot of parents will give their kids.
And they still exist.
They still exist. Yes, that's true.
That's great. I mean, I never tried them because when I was in Taiwan and I was learning Chinese, I learned 调味乳, and I was like, what the hell is that? Because in USA we do not have that.
Yeah.
If we have anything like that, it has to do with yogurt. It has nothing to do with milk. But when I saw it, I was like, I'm not going to try that. It just looks so weird.
It's artificial, definitely.
Well, without a doubt.
Yeah.
It's 100% artificial. But, when I was a kid, I would be like, oh, hell yeah, give me some of that. Blue Pepsi, 调味乳, oh yeah, let's mix them. Cocktails. Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's so fun. I think you really liked Taiwan when you were a kid.
I'm sure. I like Taiwan now, but being in Taiwan as a kid with all those candies and the snacks, oh my gosh. I would not be a skinny kid in Taiwan.
I mean, if you compare it to America, our, candy or anything sweet is very limited, when we were a kid.
Yeah, sweet, sure.
We don't encourage sweet at all. It's just not our culture, but we have a lot of carbs, we eat a lot of bread. Me and Bao, we go to bakery, we have different types of baked bread that you can choose.
Sure.
That's the things when we were a kid.
That makes sense. Yeah, no, I think it's the same. For the United States, at the beginning, we used to have lots of bakeries, but then we opened up to artificial
company, mass production.
Yes, exactly. You got it. Hostess, Twinkies, Ding Dongs. I know them all.
Oh my god.
That takes me back. Those are
it's
crazy.
Fun, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Good stuff.
You guys are really eating this? When you were a kid, it sounds so crazy. But
I know.
Yeah, that's that. Alright, that's drink. The next one is food, little snack, What's the memories? When you were a kid, you just eat that thing all the time as a snack.
Oh, man. Well, there's a lot of things I ate that I probably shouldn't have. But if it's a snack, should I, include candy, or is it something that I just eat at home?
Could be anything, basically.
Anything?
Yeah, could be candy, could be your mom make you something.
No? Okay. Well, I think this one is probably the best. It's candy. So when I was a kid and I would walk around those areas by myself when my mom was working at 5 years old and 6 years old, across the street from the very long path I would take, there was a convenience store, just so happened to be 7-Eleven, which we didn't have a lot of those back then, but we had one right across the street from where I lived, and I was like, oh, cool. So I went inside, and then it was like a dreamland. Oh, snacks and Slurpees, all the sugar you could ever want. And I was like, yeah. Okay, and so
Oh my god.
one of the things that was in there that you can't really find at all anymore, and my mouth just waters when I think about it.
I'm so curious now.
Back in the day, there was this packet, like this 3 like square packets, and then inside of each packet would be a flavored powder.
Flavor powder?
Yeah. And then in one of the packets, there would be these sugar sticks, okay? And so what you do is that you would open up all of it, okay? You open up all of it, so each packet is open. You get your sugar sticks. You make one of the sugar sticks wet, and then you dip it.
How do you make it wet?
You just lick it.
Oh,
you lick it,
see.
and then you just dip it into the powder, and you keep licking the powder off of the stick. So you have this sugar stick that you're eating while you're dipping more sugar into your mouth with these different flavors.
What is the point of it? Oh, different flavor. Oh, I see.
Exactly. So you have like usually 2 or 3 different flavors that you can dip and lick, dip and lick, dip and lick, and then you can eat the whole entire sugar stick at the end. It was amazing. And probably at least 10,000 calories. And so they don't have those anymore.
Yes. Do
Yes.
you remember the name? How you used to call it?
I don't, unfortunately. It's just one of those things that, disappeared when I was about 10 or 12 years old. They just didn't make them anymore because
I think they should.
probably
stop.
one of the reasons why I had a lot of cavities when I was a kid. But, it was so good. I'll never forget that place.
I think we have something really similar. It's like a lollipop, but I really didn't have a lot of sugar when I was a kid, but I've seen my classmate did that when I was in elementary school. Basically, it's also like a tin bag,
Okay.
and you open it,
Uh-huh.
and you have like this little flat lollipop,
Oh.
and then you put lollipop. You take the lollipop first, and then inside the bag there has like powdery thing,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
put it into your mouth, and then they will start like jumping, like
Oh,
going, like, we used to call those pop rocks.
We
I
still
think-
have those in the USA.
I think it's called 跳跳糖 in Chinese.
Bouncy sugar.
Yeah, bouncy sugar. It's definitely that. It's just like they pour it into their mouth, and because of the liquid, like your saliva, will make it like do something, and then we just like bouncy, and then you eat it with the lollipop.
That's really
It's
cool.
the thing, yeah.
That reminds me of another candy that we had in the USA.
How many candies?
This is the last one, I promise. Last one. It's called ring pop.
Ring pop?
Yeah, so you when you open the bag, there would be a little like ring, and then but the end of the ring, like back in the day in like cartoons, if someone wanted to show their diamond ring, it would be this humongous diamond off of your hand, right?
I like that.
It's just humongous diamond. Huge diamond, huge. It's like gonna poke you in the eye. It's so big. So ring pop does the same thing, except it's just pure sugar. So you have this really big candy diamond-looking thing that you put on your finger,
And you eat it,
and
right?
you eat it.
We had it. We
Oh,
had
really?
that too.
Ring pop.
We have that. It's like a buckwheat.
Oh, oh my
we
gosh.
make it like buckwheat sugar.
Oh, interesting.
Sugary thing. Yeah, you just basically.
Ours
yeah.
is definitely artificial.
Facial.
Yeah. Good times.
Of course.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is great.
Yeah. What about you?
In Taiwan, I have 2 things I wanted to share. I think one is international. I probably had it in America. The other one is, I think it's only in Taiwan.
All
It's
right,
called Guai Guai.
Oh, I love guai guai.
Guai Guai is so good, right? I
It's
don't know
so
what is it about
good.
it. It's just so good.
When
We
you
still
eat
have that.
it's like just airy, it's puffy, it's sweet.
It's sweet and it has coconut.
It has coconut
and
flavor, and you
butter.
eat it, you just smile like the
I
guai guai
know,
guy.
right? Yeah, the guai guai guy. Yeah, the guai guai thing. When we were a kid, inside guai guai, they have little 玩具, like a
Little toy.
little toy, and then it's like something small. You open it, and then we got very excited. Basically, you open guai guai, and they will have like a tiny little plastic bag, and then you can, we were just so excited. We just keep on shaking the bag and trying to find that toy.
You're very excited about it, aren't you?
That's my childhood memory. So we just keep on shaking the whole bag, just try to get the toy out first.
Oh, I see.
You know, we
you
just
don't
can't-
care about the guai guai, you just want the guai guai toy.
It's kind of like, you know, when you're done playing with your toy, okay, I still have guai guai, can you know, it's kind of like that. When
But
we were a kid.
if you seem upset, like if it's a toy that you got before,
Yeah.
you'd be upset,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
but
yeah.
if it was new, then you got a
So
new
excited.
toy and
And
guai
the guai
guai
guai.
guai. Yay! But if it's just an old toy, you'd be like, oh,
Okay,
I got guai guai.
I still got guai guai to eat, yeah, that's
So
right.
no matter what,
It's a win-win
you're
situation.
happy with guai guai.
That's true.
Oh,
yes,
right.
yes. And that's definitely like oh my god, when we were a kid, it just can't help it because we didn't have a lot of time. Sorry, not a lot of time. Like lot of chances to eat sugar or any like fun things. So every time we got a chance to do that, we just got so excited. Basically, all the kids were just trying to get the toy out of that bag. Just, I want to see first. I want to be the first one to say yeah.
Wow, it's like a competition.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I came from a family has 4 kids, so it's very intense.
I can imagine,
very
especially with your brother. It's like pure competition of food. Survival of the yum yum yum. Yeah,
yeah.
we love you, Didi.
And another one is definitely international, but I don't think they make that. They still exist, but it just changed a different form. When we were a kid, it's called 健达出奇蛋.
Ah, yes, like the chocolate eggs.
Yes, so basically, when we were a kid, right now the newer version is that you only get half of the egg. Have you seen that? You can
I
still see
haven't.
half of the egg. So you open the package, you eat like a chocolate waffle, eat like things that inside. But when we were a kid, it's literally use chocolate to make an egg shape.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what we used to have in USA too.
Yeah. So when you open the package, they have like an egg. So you open the egg, it has a plastic egg inside. And what's inside the plastic bag egg? Toys again.
Yes, we used to have those, and then children would think, oh, there's no plastic egg inside the egg, so they would just eat the whole egg whole and then die. And suffocate on it, and that's why those eggs are illegal in the USA.
That is so hard to believe because the thing is really like a real egg size.
I
How
know.
can you just swallow the whole thing?
Some kids think it's probably fun to have the egg melt in your throat.
Oh, I see.
I don't know. I don't know.
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
Yeah, but when we were a kid, that's really fun because those little toys that like a DIY, you can put it together like little Legos.
Oh,
They put it into
cool.
like and you can collect them. And sometimes they will have like seasonal toys, and you can get all the collections.
Wow.
So that was really fun. But I remember when I was a kid, this kind of snack is kind of pricey. It's about like 45,
Yeah.
50 for us.
In the
it's like,
USA too.
yeah, it's
it
just so expensive. It's
because
not
it's like
a-
from Sweden or something like that.
I think it's from
like
Australia.
from Australia or
Or
something
some
like
other
that.
country, yeah.
It's from a special place, so because it's from special place, it's special dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also because of the toy, right?
Yes,
So,
I think so.
yeah, no, it's very interesting. I never had one of those.
I probably only had it for like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, but it's
You-
fun.
Some like rich relatives or sometimes can visit or will give us this 1 or 2 eggs and it's just, oh my god.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Wow, you are like the
You're so
giver of
rich.
the golden egg.
That's exactly how I felt when I was a kid.
Sure.
Yeah, so those two are definitely like in Chinese. We have this term called. I had to think about it. 回忆杀. Like,
回忆
oh my
杀.
god, just like the memory brought you back to that moment. You
Just
know?
super nostalgic.
Yeah, and super nostalgic.
Ah.
Those two things definitely, yeah.
Heck yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, all right. Egg yeah.
Next one, every kid must have, which is toy.
Oh.
What kind of toy do you usually want? Just stop right there. What kind of toy?
I had to think about it. Like, did I have toys?
Childhood toys.
Okay, so, I grew up in a generation where traditional toys was starting to become cliche and technology was starting to become a huge thing.
Really?
In America. Yeah, in America, yeah, totally. Like, everyone was trying to basically start what we're doing now, which is having mobile games. Portable games that you can do anywhere. And so some of the things that were the must-have were definitely it's going to be something like cards. So like Pokemon was a huge thing when I was just a kid. Pokemon.
Even in America?
Yeah.
Are they speak Chinese? Sorry. How messed up is that?
That would be really interesting if they spoke Chinese. A
Japanese cartoon in
Yes.
America
Yes.
speaks Chinese.
Exactly. No. Okay.
Sorry.
No, they spoke English.
Oh, I
Okay,
see.
of course.
Okay.
And they spoke English, and they all had their own names too. Like all Pokemon have American names
Oh my
that are
God.
different from Japan and are different from Taiwan. It's all their own
yeah,
names,
special.
except for Pikachu. Pikachu is
Pikachu
like
is just Pikachu.
global,
Yeah,
right?
I see.
But every other one has a different name, like
That's
Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle. All of the originals.
And you say you don't know the name of this Pokemon.
This is part of my childhood, and we're really close to the microphone. Okay. I apologize for her actions. Okay.
Because this person, he was so crazy about Pokemon. He has his collection.
Had.
Okay, so he had his collection. He says, it worth like a lot of money, but he got stolen. So he has another emotional damage back then.
I love how she laughs at all of my trauma. It's just like she gets such satisfaction. Like I could tell you a story about me breaking my toe, and that's the response that you get. Pure joy, pure bliss of my suffering. It's amazing how loving my wife is, everybody.
It's just a Pokemon card, dude.
Okay, dude, childhood memory. Okay, I could totally take that back at you about what you're gonna say in a second.
What is it?
Oh, you'll know in a
Which
second.
one?
Okay,
Oh.
so this one here is just really special because
sorry.
I worked really hard to collect all those,
Sorry.
and I played with those with my friends. And everyone's like, Eric, you got the best cards. I was like, I know, right? I'm like so good. And then they got stolen. I was just like, see?
I'm sorry.
See? She's just
I'm sorry.
no filter with you. No
sorry.
compassion. I'm gonna have to talk to my therapist about this. Wow. Anyways, so what about you?
Well, you're done sharing.
I'm ready.
You're
I'm
done
ready for
sharing.
yours. I'm done sharing. Yeah.
I'm gonna say something different just so you cannot do anything about it. Alright. So when I was a kid, the claw machine
Yeah.
is really popular right now.
And what is that called? I forget.
It's called claw machine, I think.
I know.
夹娃娃机
夹娃娃机
in Chinese,
yeah.
yes. But the history of this 夹娃娃机 is actually when I was a kid, I think about around my whole childhood until like 7 or 8 or 10. I think it's up to 10. It was just very popular. But all of a sudden, I don't know what happened. I think they used to be outside of the 7-Eleven, like
Oh.
convenience store. And I think, like young kids, they will just hang out there, they don't go home, and a lot of like problems are happening around those areas. So government says we cannot put any machine outside of convenience store anymore.
Interesting.
And before they would just they will be claw machine and like a pachinko. I don't know what do you know?
We just call it pachinko in English.
Pachinko, right? Like the big machine, you put coins in it, you can play games.
Yeah, with
those
balls.
Kind of, yes, those kind of video station.
Japanese gambling machines.
Yes. So they used to be just outside of a convenience store.
No?
The machine.
Oh.
The machine, not the whole store.
I see.
Just the machine. You can play like Pac-Man, those kind of thing.
Wow.
So claw machine and those kind of machine they used to be together outside of a convenience store. But like I said, there would be like teenager hanging out there doing things that the parents don't like. So
Yeah.
government say we have to remove all the machines.
That makes sense. In Japan, they had the same thing.
Right.
20, 30 years ago. Everyone would just hang out in the convenience store
Yeah.
way too long.
Yeah.
And so they had to get it out of there.
Yes. So they just completely disappeared.
Yeah.
Disappeared for like very, very long time until like somebody brought it back. Like a
Oh.
couple years ago, like people started to rent a whole room in Taiwan.
That's
You've
true.
seen that, right?
Yeah.
In night market, they will rent the whole space and put tons of different machines and different things that you
And
can
people
play
go
with.
crazy over
Yes.
them. Yeah, because
Yes.
they're cheap and it's easy to grab. Well, sometimes easy to grab some of the toys inside.
Yeah. And they still cost the same amount of money. Like when I was a kid, my dad was really good at that. Which is the things I would like to share is the stuffed animal, like different kind of shape. We have Mickey, we have Disney characters, we have sometimes just dogs and things like that.
Pikachu.
Yeah. And my dad will usually go get the stuffed animal and give it to me. So when I was a kid, I had this humongous bag, a really, really big bag full of stuffed animals from different, places. Like, but my father will really just go to different places and give me those kind of stuffed animals, like, dinosaur, cats, things like that.
I think we get it, honey.
Yes, that's my childhood memory. And yeah, and it still costs the same amount of money. It's like 10 coins that you
Haven't tried.
Yeah, so that is definitely my childhood memory toy. And there's some other cool stuff.
No, wait, before you go to other cool stuff, let's talk about what happened to your stuffed animals, shall we?
Sure. So when I was a kid, I have so many of them. Like I say, big bag. I kept them very nice and perfectly sealed in a bag so they won't get dusty. And I put it into a secret spot in my room. I kept them, and every time when I feel sad, or I would just open the whole bag and dump down all the stuffed animal, just swim inside of my stuffed animal, or
Pure joy and bliss.
Pure joy, yeah. Until one day I came back home and I saw, I think it was in elementary school around like 4th grade or 3rd grade. One day I went back home and I saw one of the kids from my neighbor. It was like my neighbor's kid, which is younger, probably like 7 or 8. He was holding my stuffed animal, one of my stuffed animal. And I was like, what is happening? And so I went there to ask the kid. I said, where did you get this? And the kid said, oh, there was a lady who was just throwing away all the stuffed animals. But I want some. And then she said, I can have whatever I want. So the kids had that, and I was like, oh my god, my heart really is like stopped and very, very cold all of a sudden, because I kept it in a very secret place, that's really literally is my joy. And I went back home. My mom, she wasn't planning on telling me. She was just trying to pretend nothing happened. I asked her, like, did you toss away my stuffed animal? And my mom just like, you're too old for that. I was like, you didn't answer my question. I was so mad. I said, you answer my question. And she was just like, yeah, too old. I donated. We just told BS. She just put it to the dumpster. She didn't donate or anything. Just only the kids saved that. Yeah. I really don't remember. Did my mom give the whole thing to that kid or just dump it? Either way, it's gone. It was gone. When I realized it, and then that was it. Oh,
poor thing.
I know, right?
This is how you.
I'm just waiting for. Here we go.
Somebody.
I know. I'm sorry.
When something bad happens.
I'm sorry about your Pokemon.
No, it's okay. It's fine. We love each other.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you lost that. Your mom is a giant butt.
My mom is a giant butt.
Yes. So.
Anyways, so that was definitely it. And another one is when we were kids, like in Taiwan, my generation, we have like this plastic
toy.
I don't even know how to
say
say
it. A video game?
No, it's not. It's a piece of plastic, but they will usually have like different shape on it. For example, like sometimes they will have a Pikachu there, but it's all plastic.
No.
So everybody can collect different.
Like figurines, plastic figurines.
How do you guys play that in America?
Oh, I mean, you just collect them.
Oh, in Taiwan, you can battle it.
Oh, cool.
And if you won, you can get the plastic figurine. So you can win a plastic figurine.
Oh.
So for example, if mine is like Pikachu and yours is
Bulbasaur.
Bubblegum. Bulbasaurus?
Yes, that's fine.
Anyways, so we would do we just basically push the plastic figurine until one on top of the other. If you're on top of the other, you are the winner. Ooh. So you can take
the
other person's figurine.
Interesting.
Yes, we were so crazy about those. It had skills. You have to use your nail. Tons of kids will just have
evil technique.
Pointing fingers nail super long just because they can play that. And the kids were just playing that crazily, and they will put a white out on the back, so the figurine will higher, a little bit higher, or they will do angle things just
wow,
so
so
they
much
can
cheating. I love it. I love this game. I want to play.
I know. We just have all of a sudden we become so creative about.
I've never heard of this game before in any country country I've lived in that's never heard of this.
They are
It sounds
completely
great.
gone now. Yes, but
What are they called in Chinese?
I really don't know, and I googled it. I think it's called ping ping,
Okay.
or called 豆片. 豆 is like a battle, like 战斗的斗. 豆片 片 is like
If you know the answer to this, definitely let us know on the Instagram.
Yes.
We would love to see some examples.
Yes. I think the kids went too crazy about that, so all the schools and families are banned. So they would just toss them. My mom did the same thing to the toy, same thing to the toys. So just toss them away. And the school was like banned, like kids cannot bring this to school anymore. So they kind of like just disappeared.
Interesting. Well, that's really interesting. Thank you for sharing. I had no idea that was a game in Taiwan. That's cool.
It was really fun.
Yeah. All right, well, we're getting close to the end here. What else do you got?
Cartoon! What's the cartoon that you watched when you were a little kid?
Oh my god, that's an easy answer. Dragon Ball Z.
Oh my god. You guys
That's
also
so
have
easy.
Dragon Ball Z in the USA?
Oh, come on. How could you not? America loves fighting, so if you have this guy who has superpowers that grows more and more powerful as time goes on, of course America wants to watch that. That guy's free. That guy's empowered. That guy is pure awesome.
Okay.
Goku!
Okay.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was totally in awe, and I still am. I love him. He's like one of my idols.
Okay.
Yeah, of growing stronger each and every day.
Yeah.
Goku. Yeah, no, so Dragon Ball Z was totally the thing as a kid, and it still is for a lot of people here in the USA.
Definitely.
Yeah, you'll see people with the shirts. Yeah, people will have the logos on their cars.
Yeah.
Sometimes kids will have like a Dragon Ball, like stuffed animal.
Yeah. It's surprising because sometimes we also have those when we were a kid, but there's like only exist when we were a kid. Now
It
don't
didn't,
really
it
see
didn't
that.
last in Taiwan, right?
No, not really.
Yeah, in Japan too. Japan, it's not like a huge thing. Like some people like it, some people don't. But it's not like Dragon Ball.
Everybody, yeah.
But in America, it's so huge. It's like
It is, and it goes through like different generation. Even like I saw the kid the other day was like 7 years old.
Yeah.
He's still wearing the Dragon Ball Z T-shirt. I was like, really?
Oh, come on. It's just so good. And they made more episodes, so now...
They are still making new episodes?
Dragon Ball Super.
Oh my god.
It's great.
Okay.
I've watched it.
Oh,
and they're making a new one that's coming out in the next couple of months, and I'm totally going to watch it.
What is it going to call?
Dragon Ball Super, series number 2.
I'm glad you enjoy your cartoon so much.
So what about you?
When we were a kid, we watched a lot of cartoon also from Japan. I think there's like a kingdom of making like childhood
Sure, anime?
Anime, yes.
Come on. I mean, no one else can make it as good as them.
Yeah, but we also have Disney though. Like
Disney.
When we were a kid, like we have, of course, like Mickey and Good Friends or something like that.
Sure.
Yeah. That is that, and Winnie the Pooh.
Sure. Maybe Looney Tunes?
Yes, that one too. So those are like the really classic
Sure.
cartoon that we watch. And then, there are about like few people are watching Disney. And then until Pikachu entered Taiwan.
Yes.
Everything Pikachu now. The Pikachu take over.
Pika.
They took over everything. School bag, t-shirt, hats.
Pokemon
pencil,
invasion.
eraser.
I mean, what a
crayon.
brilliant idea, right? Combining everything together in animals and superpowers. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you mentioned about a point. I just knew that Pikachu is a rat.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
It's totally
like if you look at every animal there, they're really
yellow.
strange. Like Bulbasaur is a dinosaur.
What's a Bulbasaur?
And then Squirtle is a squirrel turtle, combo.
And
then Charmander's a flaming salamander. You're like, what the hell are these animals?
I mean,
They're
it
great.
is very creative.
Very creative.
And they will like evolve to a different kind of creature.
They'll just grow bigger. That's all they do.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
That's why it's called evolve.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Anyways.
So, okay, we can talk
Pikachu.
about cartoons all day.
You can. I
could.
cannot.
But I think we're getting really long in that episode. So let's
Which
go
is so
ahead.
much fun. Okay, that's one. Video game.
Video game.
Yeah.
That's really hard. Why is
I
this
have
the
one.
last one? Neil, you have one? Okay,
I do.
go ahead.
I don't know how to say that in English. It's called 电子鸡.
Okay, 电子鸡. So is it the little egg thing?
Yeah, little egg thing, and it has like 2 buttons on the left side and the right side, and
it's
then
like
a
a
little
keychain.
chicken.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, well, little chicken, you have to like take care of it when he's sick, and if it poop, you have to sweep out his poop.
wow, if only you would do that in real life for our cats.
Yeah. Do you really think I'll care about that?
You don't. And that's why I do it all. Thumbs up for Eric for taking care of the cats. So yeah, that toy was really popular in the USA too.
Yeah.
It's on the keychain. You know, if you had one of those, you're like, oh, you're a
You're a cool
kid.
Yes.
Right. I never could find one, so I was like,
You're not a cool kid.
I'm not a cool kid. Yeah, it's okay. So I was like, why do you guys have those? And they're like, it does this, and you need to clean up the poop, and you have to take care of it, and you have to make sure it doesn't die. I'm like,
Yes.
just get a cat, dude.
And then the chicken would literally like grow up like
Yeah.
from a certain period of time.
From a little chickie to a big chicken.
Bigger chicken.
Oh,
Bigger chicken.
Bigger chicken.
Definitely memory.
That's
From
great.
childhood. That's great.
That's great. For
Those
us,
are great.
the video games were pretty
Oh,
straightforward.
you still wanted to share?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
But I think the biggest thing that was impacting when I was a kid was the Game Boy. You know,
What's a Game Boy exactly?
a Game Boy, it's a portable video game console. So basically,
Like PS4?
yeah, but in your hands.
It was in your hand. No?
But that's called a PSP. Okay,
Oh.
but the
I
very
have zero memory or knowledge about video games.
yeah. So
Just an FYI.
the Game Boy was the first one. Okay,
Okay.
the very first version of that,
Okay.
and it was huge,
Okay.
and it needed 4 batteries to play. I'm
I'm
serious. It's just so huge, and you need 4 batteries that die after 1 day of playing.
Will they give you the warning before the battery's about to
No,
die?
it's
Oh my goodness.
the color will slowly fade away.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, when you know, like, oh, we're running out of battery here. Like, it was all black and white when we first had them. There was no color, you know, so it was
Oh,
really
I know.
interesting.
You're
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. That reminds me of like in Taiwan we have KFC.
Like Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yes, but you know, like when we were a kid, like KFC or McDonald's, they will give you toys too. And I remember very like vividly, like KFC was one time they had like we called it 肯德基爷爷.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
in Kentucky, the guy looks like grandpa.
Yeah.
So he will have like a Game Boy,
Oh,
but it's
really?
like in the 肯德基爷爷 shape. So
Oh,
in his
really?
belly, like a Teletubbies belly, that you can play the video game, also black and white.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard that. In USA, we'd never had that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Wow, it's fun.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Such
Wow.
a fun episode.
I did not expect so
Oh my
many of the
God.
things that you said today. I never heard these stories, so I'm really glad that we had this episode. It was a lot of fun for me. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for sharing those artificial and chemicals.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
My
A
pleasure.
childhood
Yeah.
trauma. Anyways,
That she still laughs about. Jesus Christ.
sorry.
I don't need to go to a therapist. You do. You need to go see a psychologist about what makes you laugh at people's pain. Seriously.
I mainly laugh about emotional damage this term.
Exactly.
But anyways.
Oh, okay. Well, we hope you enjoyed today's episode as much as Anita did. Definitely give it a thumbs up on YouTube and follow us on Apple Podcasts and subscribe to our channel. We would love for you to spread the word to any of your friends who you think would enjoy this content. And yeah, if you ever want to hang out with us, you can find us on Amazing Talker, or if you need any life coaching, you know who to ask. We are here for you. Yeah.
For sure.
Last words, Anita?
We'll see you soon in Taiwan.
And if you want to share your childhood memories, you can always send us a message about them.
That's true.
We'd love to hear it.
Stay tuned.
And if you do, we'll mention them here.
Yeah.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Thanks so much for tuning in to Taiwanica. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. That helps others find the show, and we greatly appreciate it. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.